I started off, here we go, with 1 pound of ground beef, and I would try to tell you not to use anything less than, or with anything with more than like 15% fat. So this right here is a 93.7. Yeah, I would maybe even go to 80-20, 80% lean and then 20% fat, but nothing more than that. I'm going to take what's already in it, what you see right here, is a pack of McCormick's French onion dip, and we're just going to dump this in, which is what I already did, and that's where I left off at. And I'm going to go ahead and take my pan and turn it on, I'll say medium-high heat. I'm going to add probably about a good tablespoon or 2 of Lowry seasoning salt. And I just eyeball this, guys. It's no exact science, which most of the time cooking isn't. My daughter always says, "Mom, you're not going to measure that?" No. And then I have to go back to my Latin roots, and I am at it for Goya adobo. And I'm going to probably add maybe like a tablespoon of this. Okay? And then, just because, again, Latin roots one more time, Sazon. This is great for anything. Stews, roasts, pork chops. I always put it in beans. It says on the package, guisado, sopas, salsas. I use it for my Puerto Rican rice I make. So, it's always good. Tons of seasoning in one little packet. I'm going to see, comes like that. I'm going to only use 1 packet. Hold on, sorry guys. Okay. And it actually, because it's so, I don't know if you can see that, but it comes out and it's an orangey red color. Okay. And that's all we need. Now, I know you see this fork here. We don't mess with the fork when it comes to this. This is straight hands. Okay. We're going to mix this all together. Kind of like you would a meatloaf or anything like that. Now, I'm not using an egg as a binder like I would a meatloaf because, jeez. Because I'm not sure, this doesn't have to have any specific formation, so that's what I'm going to say. It doesn't need a specific form. This is a makeshift version of it. Sorry, I know. I'm mixing with one hand and recording. Gotta love it. Okay, so that's the finished product. It is mixed in. Alright. And I hear my pan over here kind of doing its thing. Now, what I went ahead and did, I sprayed my pan with some cooking spray. And that's just so the Salisbury steak won't stick to the pan. I'm going to make and form these patties for the Salisbury steak, and I'll be right back on to put them on. Okay, guys, I made all the patties, and I have one left, and I'm just going to show you how I make my patties. And honestly, it's just like a hamburger patty. I'm just going to take this, and this is probably, oh gosh, it's a good handful. It's definitely more than a golf ball size. And this is going to be my 4th one, actually. So I've gotten quite a bit out of 1 pound. And I'm just smushing it with the palm of my hand and just smushing it around. It's not smushing it. That's a horrible cooking term. I'm pounding it down. You want to definitely make sure you work with the corners, around the corners of the patty. And I do mine circular, just like a burger, because it's just the easiest shape for me. If you want to do yours like a steak, where it's more circular, or cylinder, I guess I should say, then that's fine too. When it's about even, all around, you want to try to make it at least semi-pretty. You can tuck and pinch the edges. I'm going to take my thumb and stick a big thumbprint in the middle of it. And this technique right there works just like it would on a burger, where it just helps it from totally, actually, we're going to go over here, from totally shrinking. I'm going to take this on a hot skillet, turn it down just a little bit, and we're just going to let that fry and sear on, well, I can already smell it. Oh, it smells so good. I'm going to let that sear on both sides. And now I'm going to try to get one more. You definitely don't want to overcrowd your skillet. Actually, I am going to go ahead and overcrowd my skillet. And you don't want it to blacken. Just want it to brown nicely. And see, the skillet was a little bit too hot when I started, but that's fine. There we go. I'm going to shift it around a little bit. So if you have a bigger family, you will definitely need at least 2 skillets to cook this meal. And I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. And you see it already has that pretty brown sear on that. And that's what we're looking for. And you just let this brown for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Let me work with this one. Should have got my spatula. There we go. Like I said, 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Until it gets a nice brown, pretty caramelization. Because that caramelization is going to work for us in the end. We're going to take these drippings on the bottom of the pan. And we're going to actually make a really nice gravy out of that. Really nice gravy. So I'm going to flip this last one over. There we go. And like I said, they're doing nicely. We're going to let that sit for another 2 minutes, and then I'll come back and show you how to do the gravy. That's all. Okay, guys, it is totally browned on both sides. And if you can't already tell, it's already doing its little gravy thing right here, which is great. That's what we like. That's the fat cooking out of it. All this excess right here, this, I don't know if you can see this, but that is going to make some nice gravy. What I'm going to do is take some water. This is just room temperature water, and just kind of add it. We're going to add a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of flour, and this is just all-purpose flour, like a pinch or 2, and just stick it right in the middle. Okay. And with this, I'm about to scrape up all this good stuff. You can go ahead and move your meat around also. All this good stuff that we use from frying, let's scrape it all up. You want all of it, because that's what's really going to make the gravy really good. And you see this? You see how this excess right here, this part right here, is turning brown? That is how you make your brown gravy. Okay. I scraped up as much as I could. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with as much water as possible. I'm just going to cover it like that. And what I like to do, y'all are going to laugh at me because, yes, this makes gravy, but I like to add gravy to my gravy. Go figure. And I use the McCormick brown gravy. And I'm just going to add it to the outside of the pan. And you don't have to use all of it. I'll probably end up just using probably about half the packet. And just want to mix that in. And this will just add a little bit of extra flavor in it. And let me tell you a really quick secret to know if you have a good gravy or not.
So you can tell it's strong.
Yeah. Well, that's not the secret. The secret to know if you have a good gravy is to taste it. What you're looking for is make sure it has enough saltiness. If it doesn't, you can always add a little bit of salt. But this one is just fine, so I'm not going to add any more of my gravy mix. And I will probably go ahead and add just a little bit more water because I want it to be a little bit over the meat because it's going to soften. It's going to soften the meat and just let the meat simmer in that. We're going to let that cook down as long as we can because we want that to basically just be able to fall apart with the fork. So I'll say another 15-20 minutes, just go ahead and let that cook. And we're going to lower the temperature to about medium. Okay. Well, we'll let that cook, and we'll be back with the end result. And while we do that, I'm actually cooking some black-eyed peas, and I'm going to start my rice so I can put the Salisbury steak over the rice. And I also have cornbread and nothing. All right, guys. See you in a bit. Bye. All right, we're about halfway done with the cooking, and it's looking great. I'm going to go ahead and just flip them, because we want them to be very nice and tender on both sides. And you see they're already breaking apart. That's good. They look very, very nice, and they smell great. We just walked back into the house from outside, and my daughter said, "Oh, Mom, that smells good." She loves when we have this. Okay, guys, we'll come back to you in about 5-10 more minutes. Okay, guys, it is done. You can see where it's cooked down. About right here is where it started, and now it's down to here. It is more than tender. More than tender enough. It's more than tender enough. Trust me, guys. What I'm going to do is turn off the heat, and I am going to let this sit. I'm going to move it first, actually. And I'm going to let this sit for about 5 to 7 minutes so that the gravy, because you can see, watch this, still watery. I'm going to let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes so it can thicken up. And then we're going to plate it for you. Okay, guys, the gravy's thickened up a little bit for us, and we're going to go ahead and plate this. I want this one right here. Look at that. Yummy. And I'm going to put it right over there on top of the rice. And I'm going to let these drippings soak all over it. That's the best part. The best part. And then I'm going to top it off with some cornbread. And there you go. That is the meal. Salisbury steak with gravy, rice, black-eyed peas, and cornbread. And I got a little bit of my red wine that I love. Okay, guys, this is my Sunday meal. Salisbury steak with gravy. Buen provecho.